Okay, I'm going to walk through an example that is like your project, but I've changed the numbers, so just realize the numbers won't be exactly the same, but we also need some information that, and all of this is given in your actual project, but I need the number in each household, or the number of households, I guess, number of households. And so let's just say this is 10, 10, 15, 15. Well, I guess they started large, so I'll go 20, 20, 15, 15, 10, and 10. All right, so the income tax per household. Well, the first thing notice is I don't have a rate, so I need an actual rate. So to be able to find this tax rate, what I have to do is I have to take the income per household and multiply it times the number of households. So the income per household times the number of households. And it suggests to fill this formula in, and it does it straight down. In your project, it says the federal government needs to collect $800,000. Again, I'm just going to use a different number, so I'm going to use $600,000 that needs to be collected. I think I have the right amount of zeros. All right, so to get the flat tax rate, what we need to do is we need to sum these values, which is my income per household times the number of households. So in other words, this is the total income of all of these households. And then to get the flat tax rate, we take the amount needed divided by the total amount of income in all these households. And so this is my tax rate. So this is a percentage, like 7.9%. So now to find my actual income tax, I will take the amount, because notice this is per household, so I'll take the income per household and I will multiply it by this tax rate. Now I'm going to use dollar for absolute reference, so this way I can copy this formula. So I'm taking 23,000 times this flat rate. And I can suggest to fill these in, because then the next one is taking 32,000 times the tax rate. The next one is taking 55,000 times the tax rate, and so on. My income after taxes would be my income per household minus how much they paid in taxes. And fill all of that in, and then this gives me my income after taxes. All right, now this piece right here in your example, and you can see it right here, says any income over 20,000, and we don't want to go, well, your example actually was, let's do something lower than 20,000, so that way it'll make sense to you. And so what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at income over 20,000, and I'm going to use 0 here because I don't want a negative number. So what I need to do is I need to take, and I'll start, we'll just say that one's 0. I'll start here where I'm going to take my actual income. I'm going to subtract 20,000, and then I'm going to multiply by the number of households. So I do that, and this fills in as well. So notice what's happening here. It's taking the 55,000 minus 20,000 and then multiplying it by the number of households, right? And this just did that because of this row, which I don't need. So what I want to do now is I want to add these values. So I sum those values, and I'll do the same thing for the modified tax rate. I will take the amount needed divided by this amount right here. And this gives me my modified tax rate. And so now to be able to find these values, okay, for my income tax per household, I'm once again going to take my income per household minus 20,000, and then I'm going to multiply it by this modified tax rate. So I did the same thing again, the income per household minus 20,000 and then times this tax rate. And it will fill in all these values, and finally the income after taxes is simply the income per household and then minus the taxes that they pay, and I can fill in the first part of my table. So again, the steps are exactly the same of what you're doing, but just be careful because these numbers are, number of households are going to be different and the income per household is going to be different.